Legislative Republicans held a press briefing in Augusta today on the state of mental health in Maine. They say Maine has a mental health crisis that was made worse during the pandemic. They say statistics show the number of people dying by suicide has risen, as have suicide attempts, ER visits in recent years, which is also affecting the younger generation. Representative Billy Bob Falkingham says part of the issue is Democrats are not focusing enough on mental health issues. In addition to creating a blue ribbon commission, Falkingham says they're working to resolve some of the disparities when it comes to mental health, including access to immediate help, especially for the people living in rural areas. Senator Marianne Moore says it's time to do something about it.
The fact is, folks, the longer people wait for services, the underlying issues grow deeper and more complex. So what can we do? We feel we need to expand our school-based community health centers, similar to what Old Town is doing, moving that care to where it's needed, such as the more rural areas of the state. We need to disregard the certificate of need requirements for our mental health populations and build out new resource centers, such as the planned 200-bed detox facility at the Maine Correctional Facility in Windham. We need to support sign-on bonuses and increase reimbursement rates.
One bill that they are proposing would add the 988 suicide hotline number to school ID cards.